Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Gerald. It is Tuesday, the 12th of April, 2016. How is each and every one of y'all doing? So, you're in the top side of your week. You made it through Monday. You're starting a new day today. And I hope you're well wherever you are. This is for y'all. Um, y'all, we lost another radio personality today, this morning, in the R&B genre. And I just wanted to also timestamp this. Rest in peace, Doug Banks. I remember Doug Banks coming out. He was with Tom Joyner. He branched off, and he was doing his thing. And he impacted a lot of lives. You know, depending on where you are, you have your morning personality that you listen to, and you gain influence and insight and possible direction through what is conveyed through mass media, through communication of radio. Because at one time, radio was the focal point that people turned to. It helped you navigate through your day. If you were going through a hard day, it spawned memories depending on what the needle was dropped on that song. So I give props to all the on-air personalities that are doing their thing positively. But with that, with social connection becomes social responsibility. And it seems like more than ever, we are living in a society where there are those that are choosing to look for financial gain instead of having social responsibility. At the end of the day, you're going to reap what you sow. I ain't got to tell you that because we are all responsible for our lives. So, how you doing? Hope you're doing fine. So I was, started my day. I got my coffee this morning. You know I do. You know I do. And I'm feeling a whole lot better, y'all, because, you know, I don't believe the hype, and I'm gonna keep putting this out. If you getting ailments going on with your body and you don't understand where it's coming from, it could be a couple things. It could be what you're consuming and there's an allergic reaction. It could be how you are preparing it, or it could be also environmental. And I'm telling you, y'all, this cloud seeding going on is getting a lot of people sick. But you live your life day by day. You start your day, you end your day, and you prepare for another day. And you don't think about what's in the air. Well, guess what? Whatever's in the air, you can break that down with the basic theory of gravity. What goes up must come down. So guess what? What is found in the air will eventually find you. What you consume. So be careful. Wash your hands, drink your water, take your vitamins. That's not a catchphrase. This is about making sure that your temple is healthy. Make sure that you rest. Make sure you're not in a negative environment where stress will rob you of your vitality. Because let's be honest, where the mind goes, the body will flow. So if your mind's not right, you're not going to make sound decisions. But if your spirit is not as it should be, guess what? You're going to be always under attack because you are not protecting you. So you're probably wondering why I titled this, because I'm feeling a certain kind of way, y'all. I'm feeling a certain kind of way. I know somebody said, we feel kind of way all the time, Gerald. No, no, because I'm starting to see a connection, a synchronicity in what I've been putting out lately. And I didn't understand it at first. I was getting little niblets of the themes. But I understand something, and it's been put on my heart, and I'm going to put this out to you. Today, this morning, I happened to go on uh, Facebook. For those also, for those who've been looking for them, if you happen to find this video, welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping, because I know the importance of your time. Time is money, and you could take your time just like your money and take it anywhere. But I hope that while you're here, if you're not a subscriber, that take what you need. Don't get caught up in the messenger, get caught up in the message, because I want your life to be blessed. I want you to be the champion of your dreams. I want you to be able to understand that your life matters. And I also understand that it is very important that you also be grounded so you can see what your insecurities look like, so that you can work through each and every one of them, so that that will be your testimony. Because guess what? No one will live your life. No one will walk your walk. And guess what? More importantly, no one will be able to tell your story better than you. So there is a responsibility to yourself first. Each one teach one is what they said. But guess what? When we're gone, it will be our legacy that will educate the generations to come. So it's very important that you love yourself. Do you love you? Because if you really love you, you know who you are. That's right. If you're spending another day stressed out over what somebody else is doing or how someone else is impacting your life, you ain't loving yourself enough. Mm-mm. You're not speaking your truth. So therefore, you're not grounded. That's why I've been echoing lately about the movie Mahogany, which is a classic starring Diana Ross, co-starring Billy D. Williams. Because that movie is a reference of what was going on then, but it is downright reflective of what's going on today. Today, now, our era, our generation. And if you don't have it, I highly recommend you should go check it out. You'll see a lot of nuances in that, because you got to understand something, y'all. You'll get to a place in your life where you'll be blessed enough to see things repeat. You know why they repeat? Because the lesson or the blessing was not seen. I know I'm talking to someone, and it comes back again. Everything comes full circle, y'all. Just like everything that's done in the dark comes to the light. Why? Because it must be seen. It has its own way of value, positively or negatively. It just depends on the position of where you stand to see it. I know I'm talking to someone. So, um, if somebody, first and foremost, Joe got love for each and every one of you. I start my day and end my day the same way. This ain't for show, this is for real. Because I place God in first in everything I do. And just as I pray for my life, for my protection, for my direction, I pray for you. I pray for your breakthrough. I pray that whatever you're going through, you will come through it. You have to come through it. There's a conscious choice that you either champion through it or you stay still. But I'm going to tell you what, That beautiful word, Love, love. It is a sacred but blessed word because guess what? If you ain't loving on you, you're robbing yourself. Because love don't have pride connected to it. It don't have ego connected to it. It don't have envy connected to it. Because it's an extension of God. And right now, more than ever, the devil think he winning, y'all. He think he winning. Everything that should be honored is mocked. Everything that is not of God is put on pedestals, but watch them pedestals fall one by one by one. It just depends on where you are when they fall. Sometimes you will see things that will occur have nothing to do with you, but indirectly you will be educated. Why? Because it's insight. And that insight will blossom into your wisdom, and that wisdom will become your truth if you claim yourself. So, I happen to be on social media. I went on my Facebook account. I have two. So, I know some of y'all may have been looking for me. You want to drop a line, you got a question, you need some advice, drop me a line. Drop me a line, inbox me. I can be found in two places. My name, Gerald Davis, GeraldDavis, at Facebook.com, or put in the word Soldiers Attic, SOLDIERSATTIC at Facebook.com. That's my other one. I mainly use that one but for the people that at one time I served in the United States Air Force, and I served honorably and proudly. And that's a means for me to connect with those people because they're part of my history. They're part of my legacy. But regardless, if you need to contact me, you got some questions, you want some blind truth, a second opinion, always get a second opinion to any question you do, any step before you make it. It doesn't hurt. It'll either validate that you're in the right path or maybe show you something new. Don't want to use, I'm also found on Twitter, Gerald Davis. I'm found on, as you found me here, YouTube and Google Plus, Gerald Davis. Feel free to drop a line. If you're spending one moment in the darkness, confused, let me tell you something. Number one, check your circle. Check your circle. Because you may be aligning yourself with people that don't give a damn about you and just want to use you up as a resource. This is real talk. I should have put the disclaimer down, but I gotta speak truth for someone because someone is going through I'm tired of getting blindsided. You're feeling certain kind of way because where you are now, you never thought that that's where you would end up, but that's the reality. Because see, what you're seeing right now are the seeds that were planted years ago. A lot of y'all are going through revelations now that occurred back in 2007. Things occurred in 2007, and the reality, the harvest of those efforts are coming down right now, good or bad. So do not let your pride and ego rob you of your life. You have no one to blame but yourself because that is a direct correlation that you don't love yourself. You don't love yourself. If you are living a lie, that lie will rob you of your life. That lie will also attract the things and the people that you don't need to hear you breathe. Come on now. We see it all the time. We see it play out in our family tree. We got that one person there in that family that you know darn well that they're living a life that they shouldn't. But because of the fact that we've gotten so conditioned to their behaviors, we don't rock the boat. We don't challenge them. We don't put the question mark where it should be because of what? Fear. We're afraid to speak our truth because we're afraid that, you know what, like they say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. Okay, but what if what the hand that feeds you is feeding you poison? What about that? Hmm? What about that? You know, and you know what you get out of that? Conditioning, settlement, and what you don't realize is underlining you are programming the way that you're going to see your perceptions or how you see the world. We are what we attract, y'all. We are. So let's go. Let's go now, shall we? So I was on Facebook and I check it every now and then. I use Facebook, as I said, you know, that's a direct way so that if my extended family, I have a big family, I'm connected to a lot of people. Uh, Genetically, I am. And, you know, you have no excuse in communication with your family members now. It used 20, 30 years ago, you had to hope that you had a phone number or an address. No, that's not the case. Every year we technologically evolve. Now everything is real time. So if I want to contact a family member, I can find you and then boom, put you right on the screen, right where you're at, right there. So it's a choice. So the question should be is, do you want to have that connection or do you not? See, most people don't want, most people will try to skirt around it. You know why they skirt around it? Because there's fear there. There's denial there. There's dishonesty. Really, there's dishonesty right there. And they don't want to see the truth because that's how truth is. Truth is like a double-edged sword. It cuts twice. It cuts once when it go in, when you receive it, when it come out. Depends on which way you at, where you're at. So let's go back to my point. So I happen to be on Facebook and I see that NFL Hall of Famer uh, Ray Lewis had put a video out talking about Black Lives Matter and how, you know, that's a farce. And I agree. I agree. And there's a reason why I agree because that what they're speaking about is hypocritical. It is. And the reality of when you turn around and do the research, you will look at the hierarchy structure and come to realize that Black Lives Matter was not founded by black people. It wasn't. It wasn't. It's funded by non-minorities. And I really believe in my heart of heart that whole structure of that organization was really set up for the butt of a joke. Yeah, we'll come up there and pull up the shield of crusade and we will champion. We'll make it look like we're the abolitionists of this millennium compared to how it was in slavery. But however, they contradict themselves because black lives don't matter. All lives matter. All lives matter if you believe in God because God's not prejudiced. God loves you for who you are because he can see your heart. He knows your spirit because he created you. He didn't say, well, you know what? I'm going to put you on a mountaintop and I'm going to put you in a valley. He didn't do that. He gave you everything that you needed and it's found inside you. But you can't unlock that until you make peace. Hear that? Why are they doing it? I'm going to tell you why. Because they know they got to have a scapegoat. It's political. It always has. That's why when that young boy earlier this year, have we forgot, that was up in that was an activist with them, why did he commit suicide? Hmm? Why? Because he saw something that he didn't like. And it's unfortunately that boy took his life. That boy took his life. I think that boy took his life because nobody came in the right time to say, hey, look here. I know right now you are in a valley, but guess what? You have a whole lot of life left. I love you enough to tell you this. I love you enough to tell you what you're doing is wrong. But see, guess what? We live in a PC society. Yeah, we do. We live in a PC society so much that our young are walking around acting like they grown, and they're wondering why there's so much pedophilia going on. Why is that? Hmm? I'm gonna tell you why. Because parents are not being parents. Parents want to take the easy route and be your friend instead of give you quality time. Instead of telling you what you need to chastise you when you need. When you chastise a child, you're not doing it out of being evil. You should be doing that out of protection for their development because you want them to have a life better than yours. But guess what? If mommy and daddy don't know who they are, they're only going to work with what they know, what they've been exposed to, what they have embraced and think is their truth. So guess what? If mama is running around and she got a new friend coming through the door and she got a son, well, guess what? You know what she's doing? She's teaching her son that that's how relationships are formed. If she has a daughter, she's teaching her daughter the value of having a man in her life as a commodity, not a connection. I know I'm talking to someone. So it doesn't surprise me why the HPV rate, the HIV rate, the STD rate is so high found in women. Found in women. Come on, queens. Ain't nobody can allow. Listen, you have control of your body. Just like I have control of mine. Why you got another man climbing up on top of you and he don't know your middle name? He don't know your dreams. He just knows what it takes to get you to respond in a manner that is temporary. I know I'm talking to someone, but I'm not saying this to you out of disrespect. I love y'all. I love y'all, but y'all losing. You willfully are setting yourself up for failure. Why? To follow the status quo so that you can grow up and be like that person? Come on, think about that little boy and that little girl when you were able to cognitively dream and you had dreams and aspirations of things you wanted to accomplish in your life. You said, when I grow up, I want to be this and that and this and that. And then as you started to mature, you started to feel pain. You started to understand disappointment. You started to embrace denial. You started to understand what delusion was about. You're a grown up now, so you think, but you're still doing things and the mentality of a child. Why? Because nobody taught you. Nobody taught you the value of to be able to look into your eyes. No one taught you how the importance of just saying hello. How are you? How was your day? No one told you the power of embrace. Come here. Come here. Let me hold you. Come on. Let me. How are you? No one told you the importance of the subtlety of a kiss. So you took it upon yourself to try to self-educate yourself, and in turn, what happened? It attracted nothing but fools, nothing but opportunists, nothing but temporary band-aids. See, I can sit up here and tell you, love yourself, love yourself, love yourself. But I can't, and I don't have the ability to go inside your spirit, to put my hands around that beautiful heart of yours and hold it and protect it, even from you. I don't have that ability. But the ability that I do have is I'm going to pray for you. I understand what Jesus did on that mountaintop in Calvary. And before he took his last breath, he looked up and said, Lord, they know not what they do. Because if you knew what you were doing, if you saw the importance of your life, if you saw the importance of that breath that is coming inside your lungs, that's causing that beautiful heart to beat, that's causing the blood to go through that beautiful infinite mind inside you, if you could see that, you would see your worth. You would see it. I'm sorry, Queens. I love you too much. I'm one of the good ones. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to tell you what you need because I want you to win. Stop taking L's. Stop looking for stolen moments and subtle distractions to add one more layer of pain inside you. Why? So you can turn around and say, well, you know what? I can't beat him. I might as well join him. I can't beat him, so I might as well take my disappointments and make those my playbook on to hurt the next person. You do understand that there are people that don't love themselves and have given up on their lives, and they say, well, guess what? I'm going to destroy everything that comes in contact of saying hello. I'm going to use what I got to get what I need. For what? To bring you one step closer to that tombstone? If you're going through life with I don't give a care attitude, you're robbing your life. If you getting up every morning to take shortcuts another day, you robbing your life. And here's the travesty of it all, y'all. Here's the travesty of it all. Your best friend, they're your best friend, right? They don't give a damn about you because they see what you're doing and they condoning it. So how can you call them friend? Because see, a friend is blessed. They blessed, they far and few, because God puts them in your life in that time and moment. They do. That's why, guess what? When you turn around and be smug and think you got away with something and you think it don't come back, guess what? Every energy and seeds that were planted in that deception, they know. They know. You know how they know? If they're walking with God, guess what? They see it in their dreams with laser type precision. They see everything you've done. They see it. They know it. That's what synchronicity is about. And guess what that does? It makes their heart hurt. Ain't nothing worse to come in contact with someone that walks with God. I'm serious, y'all. Take away all the allegory and the fluff. Take away all that crap. It don't matter. What matters is your spirit. You can't cover that. You can't cover that with status. It don't matter what's in your pocket. It don't matter where you live. It don't matter who you slept with. Your spirit, You can't, Lord, they know not what they do. Ain't nothing worse than coming in contact with someone who has a spiritual connection and you willfully try to deceive them or you try to one up on them. Guess what? You ain't got to say a darn word, but they gonna discern it when they should, and they may even weep in your behalf because you don't have the courage to let them tears fall for yourself. But you know what you don't do? You have control of LOVE, love. Because if there was genuine love given in that bond, it don't die. It never dies. Because love is an extension of God's grace on your life. That's why you breathe. So guess what happens? It grows, it transforms, and placement happens. Division occurs. Because even in the darkest time, God will come in and say, listen, come with me. And they will take you out of your life. They will take you out of your life like a thief in the night. But see, guess what? That arrogant devil, that devil's a liar like a lion in the brush. He thinks, he convinces you to think, well, you know what? I didn't broke another one. I didn't, and you proud about it. You proud. But really what you don't realize is God is showing you that person's transparency. They're showing the vulnerability to you because at that time they thought that you earned the right to see them down to their soul. Do you realize how precious that is for someone to bear their soul to you? So who's the fool? I don't mean that to be disrespectful. That's just like someone saying, here, and they give you this thing, and it's deformed looking, it's dirty, and it's just, but it's got weight, and it's a rock. And you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? And they say, hold on to this. Never give it away. This is for you. And through time, the dirt falls off. In time, the rough edges break apart and it forms. And the luster from that rock that was dirty and deformed through time and pressure, there's a luster that comes from it. Every time they look at it, they see a reflection. It keeps coming out. And the more they hold on to it, and then eventually they don't see the worth and they just, I don't want that. Little do they know what they had was a diamond. They had a diamond and they threw it down for an imitation, a cubic zirconia. So does it surprise you that when your friendships, people come and go, y'all. People are going to constantly come and go in your life because there's something about you that is special. You're unique. So you're going to always give off that allure, that luster. But to an opportunist, they're like that lion in the brush. And they can tell when you're broken. They can tell when you want, they say, you know what, that person just needs some, this person needs some empowerment. This person may need a friend. This person may want to feel emotionally safe. And instead of looking at it as a blessing, they see it as an opportunity to pounce on the wounded. Just like a tick does a dog, just pow, and suck try to suck them dry. But eventually they get too full, or God really steps in and says, see, I gave you an opportunity to empower to watch this caterpillar turn into the butterfly, unlike any you've seen, and you did not respect the process. And then one day, you see the butterfly fly right past you, and it shakes you. Whoa. Why? Because that was your spirit. That was a kindred spirit to you. That person is tied to your life. I know I'm talking to somebody. They're tied to you. I'm a firm believer people come into your life for two reasons: to be your lesson or be your blessing. But know this. That's why we have all these sayings and allegories, birds of a feather flock together. Because, like, once again, if you're investing time in people that cannot spawn growth, empowerment, to help you see and validate where you need to go, your purpose in life, because you've got to do your work. Guess what? They are distracting you from your direction. That's why I always will echo to each and every one of you this. Your friends, ask them what's their purpose. And if they can't tell you that, they're your distraction. Mm, they are. Just like this. Because we've gotten such into a PC world, we don't want to speak truth. We want to just go with the flow. What if that flow runs you into a dead end? How about a waterfall that goes nowhere? Hmm? Because guess what? That is the reality of some people. Some people are waking up in realities that they're saying inside their mind, how did I get here? How did I get here? This isn't my future, but this is my reality. And this reality may be your hell. Why? Because you ain't fighting for you. You ain't loving yourself. You sitting in the kitchen having conversations inside your mind of the things you would have said or could have said. You like R. Kelly, if I could turn. No. Have the courage to love you more. How about you have that conversation with God? Stop playing with him. Maybe that's the reason why your life is not going the way it is. Maybe your life is like a a DJ's record, just scratch, scratch, scratch. You're like 10 steps forward, 50 steps back. And you're frustrated. Why? Because you're going through that because the devil's got you figured out. He knows. Because guess what? He has the ability to search your heart just like God does. He has it because he was God's number one angel. He was God's number one angel. But it was his pride and ego that got him kicked out of heaven. And the influence that he had with the other angels, guess what? God, once again, like I mentioned before, he said, listen, admit you were wrong. Admit you were wrong. And he couldn't. So the influence that he had with the other angels, he said, okay, you can't get mad at me. I gave you opportunity. And by you not seizing the opportunity, that is disrespectful and I can't accept that. So you got to go. Matter of fact, take your friends with you. And he was banished. So you think he ain't pissed off on that? And then there's your life. Such a beautiful life. Because if the mind can think it, you can be it. Just take the time out of it. Cultivate what's inside your spirit. Cultivate that. Heal that. Why won't you heal your wounds? Why? Why? Because of what he said, what your mama did, what your dad wouldn't do? Huh? Because of what she wouldn't do for you? So you're just gonna stand in time and do prison in your mind and not grow? You're robbing yourself, but you're robbing your legacy too, y'all. You're robbing your legacy. The people you will never know, because guess what? Your actions will teach them what to do or not to do. So you do yourself a disservice. Come on. Come on now. You can't buy respect. Listen, Queen, because I feel this in my spirit right now to tell somebody. You want peace of mind? Stop loving yourself. Stop chasing after these men. Because really, they're boys. They're boys. If they don't have a conversation, if they don't have a connection with God first, they're boys. And they will ruin your life. Same thing goes with you, kings. If she doesn't if she doesn't love God, she'll never love you. It doesn't matter how much her butt looks. Listen, queens, let me tell you what happens. You putting so much emphasis on what you look like, but you're not putting emphasis on what's inside you. What's inside you? Because guess what? The man that is spiritually supposed to be in your life, he ain't gonna give a damn about what your waistline looked like. He's not gonna care how big your ass is. He's not gonna care about what you can do behind closed doors. He don't care about that. What he cares about is, can I grow with you? Can we walk together? Do you see your worth? Do you know who you are? Can you love me? Can you love me? You can't love me if you don't love you. But if you don't have a relationship with God first, you will never have a relationship with them. And that is the reason why you are attracting the people you are attracting. I know I'm talking to someone. He comes around and he knows the requirement to have access to you is to come out his pocket or use the little flashy things. First of all, let me tell you something, Queen. A real man don't wear his wealth. He invests in it. He invests in it. And he does it discerningly. So while you sitting over there saying, look at him. He ain't got nothing. That guy might be a millionaire. You don't even know it. And guess what? He looking at you and saying, you know what? If you only knew. If you only knew. So sorry. You know, you got that stuff like that happens all the time. King, if you're going through life using what's found between your legs as a measuring stick to open up your doors to your life, you're a fool. You're a fool. I'm gonna tell you why. Because you're gonna attract nothing but Jezebels. You're gonna attract nothing but broken women that think that to get you is to open their legs, is to blow your back out. And guess what they also gonna blow out? They're gonna blow your wallet out and they're gonna blow your time out too. Why? Because they're not women. Because they won't invest in what's needed for tomorrow. See, that's the problem. We live in a society that we think about what we can do today, not tomorrow. I don't care if you look like you fell out of a magazine. It doesn't matter if you laying on a damn operation bed. It doesn't matter if you sick. It don't matter. None of that matters. It don't. And you know what's so sad about that? You while you sitting in there in your woes, guess what? Every little man, every little boy that you let climb on top of that mountaintop and do what they wanted to do with you, how they wanted to do to you, guess what? They ain't gonna be there. They ain't gonna be there. They're over somewhere else, preying on someone else, laughing about you because guess what? The moment that you let them do it, the respect skeeted outside them too. They should have never heard you breathe. But see, we live in a society now, women, I say that loosely. You think the way to the to the ATM is to give up your backside. You are investing inside of me. Mhm. You can't even balance your checkbook, but he knows how to get between your buttocks. What's wrong with that? What's wrong? And you wondering why companies like Poise and Depends make billions of dollars off of you. Why? Because they got an advertiser out there and they already know that, because since you don't love yourself enough to value your body. Now, let me throw this disclaimer out here. What you decide to do in the confines of your house is your business. But shouldn't that be something in the sanctity of someone you trust, like your wife? How about your husband? That's why it's also said, a house that prays together stays together. But if God's not in that house, the devil lives there. And a defiled bed will never find a blessing. And that's why so many of us, and I used to be that way, y'all. I'm not judging. You looking at when I was in my 20s, I lost my virginity when I was on my 18th birthday. On my 18th birthday. To a 16-year-old that lied to me. I thought she was 22. I was so naive and green. I was. And in my 20s, I was a whore. I was. I was a womanizer. But I wasn't the type of person that would go out and systematically try to destroy your life. I think, if anything, if I had to use an analogy, it was like a spider on a web. You know, even spiders, if you land on their web, they won't eat you. They'll free you. But if you keep messing with the web, keep dangling on it, eventually, after they get tired of letting you not, you need to look, this ain't what you want. Throwing the disclaimers, you need to go on about your business. Guess what? Their nature is what they know, and they consume you. And then when I was in my 20s, I was numb. I slept with a lot of women. I was in the military. I was in the military. And then God blessed me with a lot of with there were women I can remember that were very special, that gave me their heart. But I didn't love myself. I was going off of what I knew instinctively. That's why, and to mask it, I used the mentality of, well, I'm sowing my oats. I'm not married. I don't have any children. I'm being responsible. I use condoms. But guess what? Every time I laid down with another woman, a piece of me went with them. A piece of me that I couldn't get back. And I regret it. I regret it. I regret every tear that was shed in my behalf that I couldn't catch. That I couldn't catch. Because I wasn't loving myself. And so now, let's fast forward 20 plus years. Women are doing that now. You are sleeping with men that are dirty, that are destructive, that are borderline pathological liars and narcissists. They are nothing but demons in a physical form. Because you got to understand something, y'all. See, the devil can't ruin your life unless you give him permission. First thing he does is he gets you to a state of mind that you denounce God. You've got to denounce God. So guess what? He brings things into your life that seem exciting, that seem titillating, that seem larger than life. And because that's not in your natural environment, just like it's the same effect with a crying baby. You find a distractor, the baby will focus on it and will stop crying. No different, Queen. Only thing is, he drives a shiny car. He lives in a nice house and environment. He may have some pockets of money. But the unfortunate case of that is, he don't have you in his future. You are found in the pages of his life. That's why when you call him, you can never find him. You can never set your watch to him. But the underlying truth is, He's not with you because you know he's with him. And the worst thing you can do is share your identity, your body with another person. That is the that's the biggest slap you can do. Oh, can't have her, so I'm gonna get me a side chick. Are you a fool? Are you a fool? You got to look at the nuances. You sleeping with that person, y'all not using protection. So if you ain't using protection with you, you know they ain't. Y'all playing merry-go-round with DNA. So guess what? You know that STD. You know the bottle of antibiotics that you got sitting on your dresser right now. And he walking around like I don't know. He knows because he got it from her, and she got it from him. And the guy she was working on because now people got starting fives. They got a bench they pull from. Yes, they do. Because there's always going to be somebody sniffing under her skirt or looking at what's in his pocket or what's between his thighs. Stop playing yourself. I want you to love yourself. But see, that's not the issue now, is it? Because even with all your bad behavior, yeah, the stuff you don't want to turn on, the stuff that you know that you got to make right, that's why your life is not going the way it should. There's delays going on because you got to fix that. And as time progresses, it gets heavier. Yes, that's what it is. And it ain't going nowhere because of out of sight, out of mind. You know, you got people actually walking around on this planet that think this. To get over someone is to get under another. How reckless are you? And if you're getting that wisdom for your friends, guess what? They're not your friends. They're actually taking note on how you think. Because a friend is going to tell you what you need. They're going to love you unconditionally, even if they're not in your life. Maybe some of the people that God has brought in your life that ain't in there, that have willfully given you compassion, they ain't in your life because they see you are numb. You're not dumb, you're numb. And it's too painful for them to watch you go down that path. Nobody want to watch you willfully jump in your own coffin, but they can pray for you. They can pray for you and pray that you come through it because guess what? There's no such things as burnt bridges if it's ordained by God. That's why you constantly see these people in your dreams. That's why you feel their presence when you hear a song. That's why you feel a memory that won't, no matter what you try to do, you try to bury it. You try to drink your way to a level of forgetfulness. You may even be getting high. You may even say, well, you know what? I'm going to keep throwing it to anyone who will give it to me until their existence. Well, guess what? That's temporary. That's temporary. And guess what? It Their presence is still there. You know why? Because that's spiritual. What you're witnessing is a kindred spirit tied to your life. I know somebody know what I'm talking about. Come on, Kings. You out there dipping your dipstick. You just slept with over 20 women this year. What did it cost you? Your time, your money, your respect, your self-worth. You over there smiling because I pulled a fast one. She pulled a fast one on you. Because I'm gonna tell you what, it doesn't matter what you possess. It ain't strong enough to open her legs. I know I'm talking to somebody. Ain't nobody make you do anything. You opened your legs because you wanted to open your legs. It's the truth. You got to live with that reality. You let someone have access to your most prized possession. You. Why you think Quincy Jones, Barry White, James Ingram, Albie Shore, El DeBarge wrote the song Secret Garden? Some of them got that part of what it meant. The secret garden is your spirit. The secret garden is nothing but a true form of intimacy. Intimacy into me, I see. Into me, I see. Do you earn the right to see me to the core? Most people won't. They live in a world of illusion. That's why you see and hear what you hear on TV. Come on, Queens. You sitting over there twerking. You twerking. You twerking. Thinking it's cute. Have you ever took the time to listen to the lyrics? You'll come to understand that they disrespect you every time the beat drops. They're busy turning around promoting drug use and crime. Why? For a rep? So of course they're making all this money. Because what they don't realize is they're not taking responsibility for the destruction of their community. That's what it boils down to. And that is nothing but subliminal mind control. Because see, they understand. They understand. They understand, excuse me, that if you're not balanced, you won't make sound decisions. So stop running from you. Start loving on you. But know this, until you are able to be grounded and champion the things that were your fears, your insecurities, you can't go further because that's what's holding you back. That's what's holding you back. That's what's holding you back from yourself. You will not find a relief in the arms of a stolen moment. They don't deserve to hear you breathe. Why won't you see that? But you know what? God's will shall be done. And I believe a lot of people are starting to have the courage to ground their feet. They're grounding their feet and they're starting to look at the beauty that is found within themselves. And they're loving themselves and they're crying and they're forgiving themselves and they're forgiving those who have wrongfully hurt them. That might be your parents. That might be that person that you unconditionally look for protection or guidance in your development. You you're forgiving them. I can turn around and flip it and say, well, maybe that these people genuinely meant well for your life, but they were only using with the knowledge that was given by them through heredity, through natural progression, through the lineage. But what if that knowledge was wrong? What if that knowledge was out of fear? And maybe that knowledge was what's keeping you dysfunctional from yourself. I know there's somebody right now, you're saying, my parents never supported me. They always talked bad about me. They always said, you ain't going to be nothing because your daddy wasn't nothing. You ain't going to do this because your mother was this way. The devil's a liar. That's their burdens that they must free themselves from. That don't have to be your legacy. Maybe you are the one that's destined to be the matriarch of your family and will set the template on the direction of your family members. Because you already know what don't work. You got a family member that ain't gonna grow. Unfortunately, you got a family member that just wants to be the victim. So guess what? That's supposed to be your destiny too? I doubt it. I don't believe it. But we must all look in the mirror. And I'm going to bring this home real quick. So, Ray Lewis put this video out earlier talking about Black Lives Matter, right? And he had a lot of points on there. And one of the things he did say was, you know, sooner or later, you're going to have to make a pivotal decision in your life if you are a user or a servant. How are you empowering your lineage, your family name? How about those you are connected with? Because you're connected to people by spirit as well as blood and bone. What do you stand for? What does your character say about you? If you were to take your last breath now, what would your life say? What would it represent? Oh, I wasted my life. I slept with everybody. I did whatever I want and pretty much lived in fear. I beg to differ. But I also pulled this from that. If y'all remember a couple videos ago, I mentioned how growing up in the 80s, there was a pandemic of men, black men, dying. They were dying from AIDS. They were dying by being incarcerated. They were dying. A lot of them were down low, as well as there were those who pretty much socially became a product of their environment. But one thing I didn't realize and I noticed, even with all that dynamic, guess what was also there, along with the drug use? There was also a sea of guns out there too. Mhm. And unfortunately, there was somebody benefiting from that. You got to understand, y'all, there are people that make money off of your disappointment, make money off your crime. Because, hey, it's no secret now. Some of the people that are financially wealthy, guess what they're doing? They're investing in the penal system because they know that that's free labor. So, with that being said, growing up in DC, I remember that year we had, I think it was 85, 86. No. It was, but I remember that one year we had over 725 deaths. This is when they started using the term murder capital. But then I noticed since then, geographically, that title has been flip-flopped throughout the nation. And what's going on in Chicago is no different than what's going on in DC, what was going on in Detroit, what was going on in Atlanta, what was going on in Florida, what was going on in Texas, what was going on in California with the drugs, the gangs. The commonality, the common, oh man, my mouth doesn't work. The commonality that I saw that was death. But what I saw deeper was a systematic disfranchising of families. You have a whole lot of single moms out there because Johnny's locked up. You got a whole lot of moms out there because daddy's strung out. We got a whole lot of fathers who mothers are running the streets only to find out that she got HIV. So the commonality in that is you've got generations being reared out of those traumas, off of those pains that came from that tree. That tree is that family structure. Queens, I don't care how you feel about it. But let me tell you this. I don't care how strong you are. You got a little boy, you will never teach him to be a man. Only a man can do that. Check your pride and check your ego and accept that. You may mean well, but guess what you're doing? All you're doing is setting him up to attract a woman just like you to ruin his life. I know I'm talking to somebody. Your baby ain't your baby anymore. He a man, and he bring that girl over, and you feel a certain kind of way. You know why you feel a certain kind of way? Because you see traits in that young woman that you once had. I say this out of love. I am one of the good ones. So take that out of your vocabulary and stop saying there's no good men. You know why there's no good men in your life? Because you don't have a connection with God. So you can't see them. We attract what we are. He don't even care about your problems, but he care about how quick he can pull them panties down. God ain't in that. God ain't in that. He don't come around when you got good footing, but when you going through something, all he care about is how he can stretch your backside out. And that is why there's so many damn videos out there on the internet. Y'all think it's cute. It ain't. Just from a financial standpoint, that ain't cute. If that was so cute, why did Hulk Hogan sue? Why did Aaron, whatever name, the reporter, sue? Why? Because it didn't matter the amount of money they got off of it. They knew the damage it was going to cause. The damage that there's going to be people in their lineage one day possibly going to see them in a compromised position. I say this because I love you. I want you to wake up. I want you to win. But if you won't claim your life, you won't claim you. Your friends ain't going to listen. Your friends are only there because it's a reflection of your state of mind. So if your state of mind is broken, so is your friendships. If your friendships are only around because of distractions, he only come around so he can get it in. His job is to distract you even more. So why does it surprise you that your sex drive is through the damn roof? You know why it's through the damn roof? Because you lack intimacy. But you think the physical action is intimacy. Intimacy is the connection you have with yourself when you feel emotionally safe. Do they make you feel safe? You may know it like this. Will they have my back? It's the same. Do they make you feel whole? Now you make yourself whole. They just validate it because they're doing it too. But if they only come around because you don't want to stand on your feet and you use them as a means of getting by, you ain't getting over on them. They getting over on you because they know the reality is this is temporary. This too shall pass, but what won't pass is the fact that you willfully gave yourself to a fool. Stop disrespecting yourself. Stop it. Kings, the moment that you decide to find you, you will find peace. The moment that you have courage to break those shackles, those connections that you have, How about your stick man? He your boy? Look at his life. Is he growing? He's not growing because you ain't growing. Birds of a feather flock together, right? And misery loves company, right? But what you don't realize is there's a thin line when it comes to loyalty, and the truth of the matter is he may be plotting against you. You might not realize it. He may be behind your back waiting to be with all the women you've been with because he didn't have the courage to be a man and pursue them correctly through God's grace. And you wondering, well, blood, bros before hoes. No, man. No, that's a lie. That's a cop out. Because men don't move like that. Not spiritual ones. And when you come to see your worth, you can learn to say no. You don't want to just lay down with anybody. Because guess what? You know what's at stake? Is your name, your legacy. How about your seed? She can't make a baby without you. So if you're unbalanced, guess what? So shall that baby be. Can people change? All day. But they can't change until they decide to take accountability for their lives. So stop saying Black Lives Matter because that's a bunch of bullshit. All lives matter. Because if all lives didn't matter, God wouldn't have created us. So there's a responsibility to live in your life. Do you know your purpose? Do you know it? If you don't know it, it's because you don't know you. And your life is a lesson. Fall back in love with you. Fall back in love. You can do it. And don't worry about the people on the cheap seats. I will tell you this with all humility. There's no such thing as burnt bridges. You know why bridges are burned? Because people don't have the courage to speak their truth. I know I'm talking to someone. The moment that you're able to speak your truth, all things broken can be made healed. All things that were bent will be made straight. And it should be a definition of your life. Lastly, I'm going to shut up. It's no surprise, y'all, that there's so many guns out there in the streets. I'm going to tell you why. There are guns out in the street because people got to get paid. Just like, put it this way. Haven't you noticed we make more, our economy always thrives if we have a war, right? No conflict, no economy. So let's look at it on a smaller scale. No crime, no more jobs. Somebody got to make the flak vests and the security stuff. But what y'all don't see is this. Somewhere in a boardroom near you, there are people sitting in $1,000 suits and business dresses, looking at matrix of profit sharing off of your pain. And they know that the longer you stay unbalanced, the longer that you choose not to love yourself, the longer that you fall into the pitfalls of being like the Joneses. Let me tell you something. The Joneses don't exist, but your name does. You want to be a millionaire? Earn the right properly. Place God first. You want to have that happy ever after? You can't have that happy ever after if God's not in front of it. That's why I tell you, queens, you're being bamboozled. The devil thinks he's winning. That's why he says, no, I want you to masquerade. I want you to put this over your beautiful hair. If you want long hair, why don't you grow it? Your hair is 10 times as more lustrous and beautiful because it comes from out. I told you, God gives you everything you need. It's found within yourself the moment you decide to ground your feet. You can't say you can't grow it. I grew mine for 3 years and I had it down my back. So I know it's possible. And I know somebody know that I know this doesn't matter, but somebody may be thinking this. Gerald, why won't you grow your hair back? I told you the reason why I grew my hair because God came to me in a dream and he told me, I want to teach you patience. And in the process, not only did I learn about patience, but I learned to be more empathetic to you, my queens. I never knew, I never understood what you went through when you went and spent your day in the hair salon. That's torture. It is. Sit behind under a hair dryer, having someone to pull each hair follicle and brush, and that hurt. I know somebody laughing, but it did. But I endured. I listened to the stories. I listened to the plights of other women, and I gained a new found respect in you, my queens. I love each and every one of you, and I want your smile to come back. But you'll never find your smile if you allow him to hear you breathe. He will never make you feel whole by you spreading your legs open because he's not planning on building a future with you. He only wants to take a moment from you, take pieces from you so he can say, I got another one. And you may say, well, you know what, Gerald? That's okay. But where I am in my life, I don't respect myself. So I'm going to use them just like they use me. Guess what? They still winning because you can't undo time. You can't undo experiences. That's why it's important that you protect you. Trust when I tell you, Queen, the man that will come into your life will be a spiritual man. He will be your all. He will be able to protect you, protect that heart. He will empower you. He will be your best friend. He will give you that ear. He will give you his heart, and you will stand together because that's what being yoked is about. Don't you think you're worth it? You ain't gonna find that in the club. You know what the club's for? It's nothing but a commune for broken people. That's why everything is done in the dark. That's why the drinks are so strong. You ever go to a club before the club starts and the lights are on? It looks very ugly, don't it? I know I'm talking to somebody. It look ugly as I don't know what. So why you think they got the lights on, the strobe lights going, the drink strong, and the conversation flowing? Because that's nothing but opportunists wanting to prey off of you. And what's sad about it, you might not realize that that woman or that man that is smiling, they may be praying, they may be the next person that is going to set you up for more pain. And they know it because they just as broken. And they're going to try to do everything they can to blow your mind because it's about control. Haven't you noticed, like I said, the people that got control issues have no control in their lives? The people that are assertive, they only do that because they're the most broken in the bunch. So what's the contradiction? Oh, you want to be that girl sitting at the table holding everybody purses? Oh, or you want to be that girl that when things pop off, you just want to hit somebody. You don't know that girl. You hitting her because of the pain you got in your heart and you're looking for a reason to expel it. How about love yourself more, baby? Come on now. Because when you decide to love yourself, guess what? The things that you thought you lost probably weren't. You'll come to understand that the person that was really lost were the things that you didn't need, and you are claiming your life back. But I'm gonna tell you what, y'all. Don't get caught up in the hype. Nothing happens by chance. They putting crap up in the air to get you sick. Haven't you noticed? Nobody really was biting off of the darn flu vaccine this year. But now all of a sudden we got respiratory issues going on. Now we got mosquitoes that are causing uh, ailments to you, my women, my queens. That started in South America, but now we got a possible epidemic. We ain't even nowhere near the summer. Why is that? It's about population control. You got people here that don't want to hear you breathe, and they don't want you here. So guess what? We get the population sick. The two the two populations that are going to be impacted the most are going to be the babies and the elderly. They know that. But here's what you don't know. By you not loving yourself, King, you have a 1 in 5 chance that you're going to be sterile. You'll be sterile, so you can't have kids. But guess what? You ain't out of the loop, Queen, because they know how fragile you are. They know how important you are because by you being made a woman, a girl, you are given a gift of nurturement from God. You are the like the tree. You are the base of the tree, and the branches come from out of you. The man is your roots. So no matter what goes on in your life, you will sway with it, but you will not be knocked down. The branches are your lineage, your children, your babies, your family. They know that. Does it surprise you the last 5 years you have never seen so many women having issues with fibroids, ovarian cysts, having gynecological issues with your vaginal area? Why? Why? Because they don't want you to produce. They don't. See, everything is put out there based on a perception of what your mind can take and what it can't. Why do you think the TV shows are the way they are? Huh? Why is it anything that of value? You got to search it. You got to search, and it's like buried. But they got a lot of other bullshit shit out there. Teach you how to be manipulative. Teach you how to be things that you shouldn't. And why is it? And I told this one beautiful queen. I said, why is it every woman that's on that TV screen, she got something going on with her? Don't matter what her status is, and if she's in a position of power or status, she got dirt on her. Why? Because they want to convince you to embrace that. Why do you think reality shows are the way they are? 85% of the reality shows are based on a certain age demographic because they want those people to emulate what they see. Come on, Bad Girls Club. What's positive about that show? That show teaches young girls to be promiscuous, become alcoholics, but they never talk about that. They never talk about that. Why? Because they don't want you to claim your life. They want you to burn out like this flame right here. They want you to burn out. That's right. They want you to screw everybody you can because they know you will not realize that you're screwing yourself. That's why I made the comment. I had a couple people disappear for a second because of what I said. It's the truth. No man has the power to open your legs, Queen. You do. You do. And if he does, that's rape. You can turn around, sit over here and say, well, I like him being controlled, and sometimes I like a man to take it. Come on, man. What? What? So now we're in an era now that we're doing anal sex now? Doing anal sex. That's the end thing for these teenage girls, y'all. Did you know that? Parents, you got kids, you better get in their cell phones. Get in their cell phones. Stop being their friend, be their parent. Because what you might not realize, there may be a predator next to you preying on your baby to catch him or her slipping. While you so caught up in your life, someone's trying to ruin theirs. You might not even realize your babies are probably having sex and you don't even know it. I say this out of love. I say this because I want you to win. But you can't win if you don't know who you are. And you'll never know who you are until you have a connection with God. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your work. And for that, it helps me discern mine. You can't kill love. You can't. And if it's God's will, it's going to come to pass. It just depends on if you're willing to embrace it. Because he don't need your permission. He don't. That's why people go through stuff. Because you're fighting a battle that is not yours. Why are you fighting their battle when you should be championing yours? They're not the one that's supposed to have the end story. So why do they hear you breathe now? It's time to forgive yourself. Time to love yourself. You're worth it. If you're feeling what I'm saying, hit me with a like. I'd love to hear from you. Stay blessed.